Good day, fish tankers. The Dwarf Gourami has long been in the hobby. It's a beautiful little fish with lots of personality, not too fussy as well, and it is a great centerpiece fish for a planted aquarium. But it does have a few challenges and one big drawback as of late. Want to find out what it is? Stick around. Now here we see a male Dwarf Gourami in the dealer's tank. They're great little fish. They only grow to about 7.5 centimeters, so not actually a nano fish, but still a small fish, so they don't need huge aquariums. They can go in a 10-gallon, about 40 liters, 1.5 foot tank. That'll be adequate. And they also do well in the much bigger tanks. And there you see the males. The females got less color and is quite a bit smaller. And the females tend to be quite scarce in the hobby. And these are pictures of some of them that I've had. This is the normal wild color Dwarf Gourami. Very beautiful fish with red and blue stripes. Nice compact little body with those gourami like feelers. And they're not shy. Once they're settled, they're quite pugnacious and they can handle even quite bigger fish in the tank. And this is the flame gourami. That's the red version of that neon blue dorsal fin. And then there's also another color morph, powder blue gourami, which you see here. That's more accentuates the blue color. And here are the Dwarf Gouramis that I have today in my 29-gallon tank. It's a heavily planted tank, and there you see the first mistake I made. I've got two males here in the tank. Usually it's best to just keep a single male, or if you're going to keep another male or you're going to keep a female, make sure that the tank is big enough. At least here I've got enough elbow room so they can get out of each other's way. And another thing, make sure what you put in a tank that's absolute jungle like this, because it's almost impossible to catch them again. The one was smaller and had less coloration than the other one, so I thought by mistake that it was a female. But they have enough hiding spaces here so they can stay out of each other's way. They are Southeast Asian fish and they live in slow moving rivers and ditches, so they don't like very strong flow. They like medium to low flow, so a bubble up sponge filter will work, and in this tank the power filter is set to a lower setting, so you can see it just about moves the plants. Temperature wise, the normal topical temperature is 24 degrees Celsius, and they can even go a bit warmer to 28, 29 degrees Celsius. I find they do fine there. Water parameters, they're not fussy. Anything pH 6 to 8 can be soft water, can be hard water, as long as it's not extreme. And what's much more important is that the water is stable. And you can see they really love their planted hiding places. Now they can be temperamental, they have different personalities, much like a betta or a Siamese fighters. Here and there you can get a Dwarf Gourami that's an absolute terror, and it will terrorize everything else in the tank. And at other times they're very peaceful as well. These two males, now and then they'll take a chase at each other, but because it's such a heavily planted tank and because it's a sizable tank, it's not a nano tank, they stay out of each other's way. And feeding, they're not fussy. They'll eat anything from flake to frozen food to live food. As long as it can fit in their mouth, they'll eat it. But they're also not shrimp safe. Having said that, I wouldn't put them with things like cherry shrimp or so. They'll have an expensive snack. And also avoid fish with similar colors or similar body shapes. I wouldn't put them with a Siamese fighter or a betta fish, for instance. I tried it once when I was still a kid. It didn't work out. Beautiful red Siamese fighter and Dwarf Gourami. I thought like I had to separate them in order to keep them from killing each other. And then there's another thing now. That's another challenge, except their temperamental with old nature. They get this disease nowadays, and there you see a very sick one. But it's called Dwarf Gourami disease, and it's a sort of a virus. They get these blotchy patches on their skin. It looks a bit like columnaris. It sometimes resembles a hole in the head where it really forms, well, hole basically. it sort of eats into the flesh and the fish dies from that. The good news is it doesn't spread to your other aquarium fish. It's endemic to the dwarf gouramis, and the theory is at least that viral disease is because of all the inbreeding to get these colomorphs, and once they get that, there's not much you can do. That's the end for the fish. I've tried treating it with everything under the sun. I think almost the whole Seachem range of products and other products as well. But nothing helps for that dwarf gourami virus. Now, these I got young, and so far it's been about 6 months just over that, and so far so good with them. But that's my last try with the dwarf gouramis. But if you want something similar without all that baggage, you can also go for the honey gouramis that you see here. They're a bit smaller, they're less temperamental, you don't get the same sort of aggression that you get with some of the male dwarf gouramis, and for the rest it's exactly the same care. So this is a nice alternative for you guys. Please remember, give it a thumbs up, like, and please subscribe. I will greatly appreciate that. Until I see you again, keep taking good care of those domestic denizens of the deep.